Hey, Mike.
Yeah, what's going on?
Have you heard of Unidragon.com?
Yeah, isn't that the puzzle people?
It is. They are the largest manufacturer and sellers of wooden puzzles in the world. Let me tell you about it. They have tons of designs, all listed at $29.95 on their website at Unidragon.com.
Yeah, I know. I've seen them. I really like the owl one.
All of these are laser cut to perfection. Instead of those old traditional puzzles that you get that are done on cheap cardboard backings, these are all done with wood cutouts, laser cut. And the images, instead of the standard jigsaw puzzle, actually include different animals within the puzzle itself to put together.
It's like those big collages where they have faces that turn into Empire State Buildings and stuff.
That's correct. Absolutely. You really, so you like the charming owl?
Well, I really like the owl.
And right now, there's a special going on for any TechTime Radio listeners. If they put in the code DRAGONTech, they'll receive 10% off.
That's cool. I'm going to put an order in today.
And of course, my favorite, the Inspiring Unicorn. Are you going to get the fox, or are you going to get the dragon, or the fish? What are you looking to get?
No, man, I'm going to get the owl.
You're going to get the owl, not the serious panda?
No, the owl. It's all about the owl, man. I'm a night owl.
You're a night owl. You are a night owl. Visit Unidragon.com today and make sure to put in Dragon Tech as your code to receive 10% off. And remember...
Yeah, those are really cool. I really like the owl.
Mike likes the owl.
Your business deserves the same expertise as that of a Fortune 500 company. If you need a CIO-level service, why hire a full-time staff member at $250,000 a year when you can get this on-demand service for fractions of the cost? As your CIO on demand will give you the steps you need to take so as to minimize interruption to your business and profitability, and provide you and your business with training and education to prevent future attacks. To get an efficiency review for your business today, contact us at www.ee-services.com.
We would like to thank Podcorn for sponsoring this episode of TechTime Radio. Explore sponsorship opportunities and start monetizing your podcast by signing up at podcorn.com/podcasters. Let me tell you about Podcorn. Podcorn is an absolute must for any podcaster starting out. Now, when we started out TechTime Radio, we started out in a back office with a couple of mics. We expanded to a studio, and then now, as you can see, we're on the radio and have distribution into other markets. Having the ability to have Podcorn at the start of our podcast would have been a dream come true. Guess what? With Podcorn, you now have the amazing opportunity for podcasts to receive sponsorship, such as host reads, interview segments, and topical discussions. With Podcorn, there's no middleman. Podcasters of all sizes can browse and choose opportunities right on their platform, set their own rates, and collaborate with brands directly without exclusivities. You never give up the rights of your podcast in Podcorn, and they're here to support you everywhere possible. Visit podcorn.com. Again, that's podcorn.com. Podcorn is a true success for those starting their podcast dreams.
Broadcasting across the nation from the East Coast to the West, keeping you up to date on technology while enjoying a little whiskey on the side, with leading-edge topics, along with special guests, to navigate technology in a segmented, stylized radio program. The information that will make you go, Pull up a seat, raise a glass with our hosts as we spend the next hour talking about technology for the common person. Welcome to TechTime Radio with Nathan Mumm.
Welcome to Tech Time with Nathan Mumm, the show that makes you go, Technology News of the Week, the show for the common everyday person across the nation, from Boston, Atlanta, and across the U.S. to the movie capital of the world, LA, and up to the Pacific Northwest, with insightful segments on subjects weeks ahead of the mainstream media. We welcome our 35 million radio listening audience to an hour of insightful technology information with a little whiskey on the side. I'm Nathan Mumm, and welcome to our show as we live stream during our show on twitch.tv, Twitter, Facebook, and of course YouTube. We encourage you to watch us live or visit us at techtimeradio.com, or you can even tweet us on Twitter at hashtag TechTimeRadio during the show, and we'll do our best to respond to each of your questions. Tech Time is a weekly hour technology show that talks about current technology in a simple format without having to geek out. Brought to you by Nathan Mumm, myself, a multi-businessman executive who has worked 10 years at Microsoft and 5 years at Vulcan Inc. in the Seattle area. I'm a technologist with over 30 years of expertise and a keynote speaker on technology subjects from security, blockchain, and everything in between. My co-hosts here are Mike Gorday,
is an award-winning author originally from Arizona. He's a human solution consultant in forensic psychology, living in the Seattle area with an MA degree. He combines his continued education in human behavior with over 20-plus year careers helping understand human behavior so that you can make better decisions in their lives. Mike keeps me from geeking out while providing an insight into human behavior and how it interacts with technology. We're two friends that come from different backgrounds but bring our best technology show possible each and every week for our family, friends, and fans to enjoy.
Yeah.
Welcome to the show, sir.
Thanks.
All right. Are we ready to get going?
Sure.
All right. Let's start today's show, Odie.
Now on today's show.
Today on the show, Facebook crypto project is officially dead. Elon Musk says robots to be bigger business than Tesla cars. We have a metaverse community that is essentially a face-based technology that we're going to be talking about. So that's going to be interesting. Mr. Gourdet, you got that. We have the best of the best from CES 2022. Our review show of the Consumer Electronics Show from Vegas is today. We have our favorites, including This Week in Technology, and of course, Mike's mesmerizing moment and our pick of the day whiskey tasting. So sit back, raise a glass, and welcome to Tech Time with Nathan Mumm. Now it's time to start our show with our loaded question of the week, brought to you by Elderberry Boost. Get your Elderberry Boost today at elderberry-boost.com. Mike and Odie, here is your loaded question. If you could change one thing about the world, what would you change? You're up, Mike.
Just one thing?
Just one thing.
Dang it. I think I would have to just change the weather today.
Change the weather?
Yeah.
You want it to be sunny and sunshiny all the time?
Sunshiny more often than it is where I live.
70 degrees all the time?
Yes.
70 degrees, beautiful sun, comes on up at 6 a.m., stays out until about 8 o'clock at night?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I should probably move.
You should probably move. In the Pacific Northwest, that may not do it. All right, Odie, the question is to you.
I'd like an equal opportunity for everybody, not just, the wealthy and rich, the 1% to really make it. Everybody has an equal opportunity to do it.
Oh, that makes sense.
I'm going to change my.
No, you're too late, Mr. Human.
I'm going to change it to I'm going to be rich.
You're going to be rich?
Yeah.
If I had one thing to change in the world, you know what I'd change? I'd change time. I'd slow time down. So that 24 hours would be essentially 48 hours worth of work. So that you could get more stuff done in a 24-hour period. Well, this is a technology show, like a special warp.
There's a term for that.
What's that?
Less with more.
More
with less.
More with less?
Yeah. That means you just got to work harder.
I got to work harder.
Yeah.
Well, I'm already about a 4 to 5 hour a night sleep guy right now, so I need to change it down to about 2 hours?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's kind of where I run into. I'm about a 4 or 5 hour.
You're a night owl, aren't you?
Yes.
That's right. Okay. All right. Well,
I'm actually napping right now.
You're napping right now?
Yeah. This is me asleep.
That was your loaded question of the week. Well, Mike, as always, we have our whiskey tasting during the commercials. We'll see if you selected our whiskey tasting for today, if it gets a 0, 1, or 2 thumbs up in our pick of the day. Make sure you listen all the way through the show for some interesting facts regarding the whiskey. We have a new little segment with Mr. Mark Gregoire. He's put in some comments and some notes that I'll add to that. So that'll be interesting, and will make you go, when you hear that information. Now let's get our episode started with our first segment. We call this top stories in the first 5 minutes. This brings you the top technology stories everybody will be talking about in weeks to come within the first 5 minutes of our show.
What's happening in the world of technology? This is our top stories in the first 5 minutes.
All right, welcome to Tech Top Stories in the first 5 minutes. Story number 1.
You need to take a drink?
No, I haven't taken a drink yet. There we go. Elon Musk likes to have focus on just one thing a year, and this year it seems to be robots.
Great.
Let's listen to his own words on what he told investors on the earnings call for Tesla.
Well, I think that actually the most important product development we're doing this year is actually the Optimus humanoid robot. This, I think, has the potential to be more significant than the vehicle business over time. But the foundation of the economy is labor. Capital equipment is distilled labor. So what happens if you don't actually have a labor shortage? I'm not sure what an economy even means at that point. That's what Optimus is about. So, very important.
So Mr. Elon Musk takes his time.
Yeah, I'm glad. Yeah, he does.
It does want to speak. And I wanted to have the whole thing without being completely edited by myself or anything like that. So I wanted to make sure that was him speaking. Essentially what he's talking about is he's talking about Tesla cars are essentially robots, but they're a simple form. And he is now planning to have this new project called Optimus, which was previewed last year's to raised eyebrows. The Tesla bot, as it was dubbed, was used the same artificial AI system that helped power Tesla vehicles. An Excel robotics system engineer tweeted, "Anyone who thinks Tesla is actually building a humanoid robot is living in an alternate reality. Mars bases are more likely than having a robot from Tesla." But Musk does like the hard problems through autonomous cars and trips to Mars, and he has had plenty of success. He told his investors that the humanoid robot's first application would be at the Tesla plant, moving parts around the factory. But in the future, he sees it helping solve labor shortages, and decentralizing control of the robots will be critical.
Yeah.
Will this solve the labor shortage, or is this something that we're looking at as the next cybernet domination of the world? We will stay tuned, but Elon is no longer considered a dreamer with no action, as he has mastered both space and cars in just the last 10 years.
Oh, okay.
So it's going to be interesting. So he's focusing
science fiction.
So he's focusing all on robotics to replace humans in his factory specifically for Tesla, because he says that he can't produce enough cars for people that want them because he has a labor shortage. There's just not enough people he can employ that can do the basic necessities for Tesla. So he's going to build robots.
Is that really it?
Well, that's what he says.
That paying a human being to do something is more costly than having a robot do it.
Well, it could be that too. Well, there is. I mean,
ask McDonald's.
It does. Yeah. Well, I mean, we talked about that on a couple shows back, right? With some of the fast food robots that are available there. So we're gonna just keep it. He told all of his investors, forget Tesla. I'm going to build robotics. I'm going to build robots to help my plant. I guess everybody kind of said, yeah, right. There's not a chance that you're going to do this. But
we'll see.
I wouldn't bet against the guy.
There's so much going on in the field of robotics right now. It's not a surprise that he would be like, yeah, I'm just going to take over that one too.
Yeah, that's exactly it. But all right, Mike, I think you got story number 2.
Maybe.
All right.
So, how would you feel about going to church while sitting next to an animated banana and a purple alien while floating in 3D space?
That would seem a little odd. Why would you say that?
Well, this is a story from the metaverse. You know what that is.
The metaverse, yeah, that's the Facebook type area. Yep.
Yeah. So because of COVID and because of the VR development, we're seeing that people are actually taking this to that level and using the metaverse or a VR reality to do worship in wherever religious or spiritual forms that they would like to do.
Wow, really? Is there a specific church that's out there?
There are several, actually.
Okay.
But the story about this one is particular to the ones in metaverse, and that many Americans are both religious traditionally or non-religious are actually using this platform to engage with others in a community format, whether it's really for that purpose or not.
Okay.
The pastor of the church cited in the article, Pastor Soto,
yep,
he started a VR church where he at home in Fredericksburg, Virginia. He puts on his gear and then he goes into this thing and preaches. And he said the first 100 people that showed up to his church, his VR church, were a bunch of atheists and non-believers who really just wanted to either troll him. I'm guessing that was implied, or asking questions. But he says it's growing, and this is an interesting kind of piece, because again, we're talking about how human beings are interacting. Oops, I almost did that again. Interacting with technology, and virtual reality is one where we can start blurring the lines on many different areas.
And so his church is called VR Church.
VR Church.
Yep. That's his big church posting that he does. It's called VR Church. So I guess that's probably a good name to have trademarked, right?
Probably.
Okay.
But there were several.
All right.
Cited in the article.
Okay.
But there you go. So if you want to sit next to a banana and be a robot doing a worship service, or, just doing some meditations or something,
you now have your platform in the VR environment.
There you go.
So would you ever attend a social event in a VR environment?
Sure.
You know what? There are some basketball games.
We've talked about this before.
TNT and some of the broadcasts by the NBA now have virtual arenas where you can actually go on in and sit like courtside, and you can actually move left and right, and you will actually stream on a 360 camera. So you're like, have the best seat in the house without having to pay anything. And I've actually done it for about 15, 20 minutes, and it was actually very, very entertaining. I mean, it was like I was there. It was a little blurry as the players would run down the court. I tried to move left and right too quickly, but it was a very interesting aspect.
Yeah, of course, the I guess the controversy or the counterpoint to these would be, why would you do something in this arena where you can blur the lines of everything instead of going to a physical place? And of course, COVID is giving us a lot of excuses to explore this area.
That makes sense.
That's just one of the backdrops of how the global pandemic is affecting our social situations.
All right, story number 3. Facebook's crypto project is officially dead. Diamond is first rolled out in the concept of 2019, has faced pushback ever since. Facebook's long-term stablecoin project is finally shutting down on Monday. An outside investment firm, Silvergate Bank, confirmed that it is buying $182 million worth of assets from the tech giant, marking the end of the long-coming and pretty tumultuous idea of Facebook creating cryptocurrency in itself. Despite giving positive feedback on the design of the work, it nevertheless became clear from our dialogue with federal regulators, Facebook said, that the project could not move ahead. And essentially, the CEO, Stuart Levy, said the project and the former website, as a result, has been sold to Silvergate. So this is an interesting thing. Facebook was trying to create a cryptocurrency. It was supposed to be a very successful one that you would essentially transfer in American money to buy items on Facebook and Meta. So instead of buying like your video game and paying $29, you would pay it in cryptocurrency.
Right.
But they have said that regulators within our government are not allowing them to create a cryptocurrency transaction.
So they're blaming it on the government?
That's what they're blaming it on, yes.
Okay.
The regulators would not allow them to have cryptocurrency. So this is what they're going to do. They're going to offshore that to Silvergate. Silvergate is going to be a partner with Facebook, and then essentially Silvergate will do everything out here, and then Facebook
they'll have an exclusive contract with
So
Silvergate.
that's right. And then Silvergate will essentially have the cryptocurrency that Facebook will say is one of their approved cryptocurrencies. That's what's going to happen.
There we go.
All right. Well, Mike, our time is up, so we got through our top stories. If you want to learn more about these, please visit us online at techtimeradio.com and click on our episode section or the blogs to get even more details of these stories and features. Now it's time for us to get ready for our whiskey tasting at the break. But up next, we have our special Tech Times Best of the Best from CES 2022 segment that will cover our best items from smart home products to home theaters and everything in between. We even have a wearable that you can put on your glasses that will actually go to the side of them and will actually read information, scan people's faces, and read UPC codes that we're going to be talking about right after this commercial break.
Hey, Mike,
What?
have you heard of elderberry?
Only in reference to a Monty Python movie.
Well, let me tell you, Elderberry Boost, again, that's elderberry-boost.com.
Elderberry Boost.
Yes, Mike, that's Elderberry Boost. You can choose organic Elderberry Boost, that 8-ounce size. That's available on sale right now at $11.99. But you're listening here right now on TechTime Radio, so you need to go to Elderberry, that's ELDERBERRY-boost.com, and get some today.
Elderberry Boost.
Elderberry is an all-natural organic immune system booster and antiviral. Elderberry is known to actively fight against viruses, including colds, and the flu. It also works as a natural remedy for allergies, cancer, digestion, heart disease, high cholesterol, headache, toothache, weight loss, and reduced inflammation.
It's a natural and healthy diuretic and has many antiviral properties. While it is famous for fighting the flu, it is effective for any illness.
Elderberry Boost was created to provide a quality organic elderberry to their customers. After searching years ago for a perfect elderberry syrup, none could be found, so they essentially created their own homemade recipe.
If you would like to get 15% off your first order of Elderberry Boost, just put in the discount code TechTime at checkout.
Again, that's elderberry-boost.com.
Elderberry Boost.
All right. Welcome back to Tech Time Radio. I'm your host, Nathan Mumm. Micro Day. During the break, we got to taste our whiskey tasting.
Yeah, we did.
All right, so this is what we got. We got the Earl Settler Bourbon, Kentucky Intense Nose of Spice and Cloves, which gives you the medium-bodied bourbon with notes of oak, brown sugar, caramel, and a complex finish. Carefully aging leaves this bourbon with a smooth and rich profile. It's 80 proof, and the bottle is $9.99.
Yeah, I think you might be reading that wrong.
Why is that?
Because that I didn't get any of that. I just got yuck.
You just got yuck? Well, this is Earl Settler. Their location is Kentucky, United States. It's a straight bourbon, so it's got a minimum of 4 years that it has to be aged to be considered bourbon, and it's $9. You're not liking this, are you?
No.
Are you? Well, we're gonna, at the next break, we have the behind the scenes from Mark Gregoire. He wrote up a whole dialogue about what he either likes about the whiskey or what he hates about the whiskey. So we'll be really excited to talk about that.
I think we might be on the same page.
You guys might be on the same page?
Might be.
All right. Well, you know what? I'm always about a thrifty whiskey because we had our whiskey last week. And
that was okay.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll see what happens.
Some of the thrifty whiskeys that you find
yeah,
are not even good as paint thinner.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well, we'll see how we do on this. All right. Now let's talk about Tech Time's best of the best from CES as we begin our next segment.
Welcome to Technology Insider. We get the information directly from the source.
All right. Though we can't hand out awards in person this year, we still do have the opinions of the best from CES from Tech Time Radio, and we're about to share that with you. All right. So we got different categories, kind of like an Emmy Award show. So we got different categories here. This is called the best accessibility product, and this is the OriCam My Eye Pro. So it's OriCam, and let me just tell you, the OriCam is probably the best product I've seen. This is a device that attaches to the side of your glasses. Mm-hmm. So it's not any of these wearables where it's in your glasses. You got speakers taking care of it.
Not like Google Vision or whatever that was.
And this is specifically for people with low vision or difficulty reading, camera-based gadget that essentially has object recognition, and it can essentially scan and read text. So if I put a text up and I raise my hand in front of the device, it will know to read the text. It will actually scan the text that I have in front of me. It'll read it. It will actually scan UPC codes and tell me what product I have available. So if I wanted to go shopping as an individual and I couldn't see very well, I can bring up the UPC code. I can find out the information about it. It'll scan flyers, and it will even identify objects and faces of people and animals. And so I can correlate, hey, that's Mike Gourdet. And so it'll come on by. And so the next time you walk in front of me, it'll say Mike Gourdet walked in front of you. Now, this is also available for an onboard speaker or can be paired with Bluetooth headphones. They have made a device before, but this is their newer version, the OriCam My Eye Pro. So they made a version 1. This is like version 2 of the product. It even has the ability to say, hey, OriCam, with the hot word, just like you say, hey, Siri, or like you say, hey Alexa, or hey, Google, any of those devices. And essentially what it does is it will take care of finding information like phone numbers, bills, and particular words on a page or more. The Eye Pro is not cheap, though. What would you guess the price of this is?
$4,000.
That's right. $3,990. That's correct. But for great awareness and the existing of such a great product, think of most insurance providers right now don't consider this a cost that they'll pick up. But if we continue to push these type of technologies, maybe insurance companies will pick this up because the blind and visually impaired people really enjoy this product.
This is about accessibility, and that always comes with some complex issues with,
issues
with insurance.
All right, the next thing we have is the best health and fitness products. This is the Withings Body Scan. Withings has been doing all they can to push the boundaries of what bathroom weighing scales can do for a long time now. This year at CES, the company unveiled the Withings Body Scan, which aims to bring a number of new wealth monitoring technologies into your home. The Body Scan's most obvious new feature is the pull-out handlebar that'll let you hold it in front of your waist while you're standing on the deck itself. This allows the device to run an EKG to check your heart health and its sequential body composition data, and most intriguing, it analyzes your nerve activity. So if you have some nerve issues, it will actually come on back. Withings says that it has 6 leads for its ECG product at medical grade results, and meanwhile, the nerve active tracking will look for signs of nerve degeneration, which can be used to detect obesity and also remedy other medical actions. It's a heck of a lot of tech packed into one consumer device, and the Withings is good on its promise. It will become the bathroom scale of choice for anyone who wants to keep tabs on their overall health.
More data, more stuff to do.
Yeah, it's going to track you. Now, the best wearable. Here we go. The Razer Zephyr Pro Razer is the mask that looks like a Darth Vader and zombie fighter put together. So this is a mask you put on. This is like an N95.
A zombie Darth Vader?
Yeah, so essentially they listed it as an N95, and then Razer had to come back and actually pull it out because they don't quite have
an N95.
It's not an N95 mask. But essentially we felt, since CES was low attended, that we would pick a product here that would help everybody that was there, all 2,000 people.
Is this a sympathy prize?
It kind of was. Well, but this solves the problems that most masks do not. It essentially can amplify your voice by 60 decibels all the way up to 1 meter away. So instead of me talking normal, I could then you have it on the shouting mode, come on up to you and say, "Hey, Mike," then shout it across a meter's worth of area so everybody can hear that I'm talking to you.
Yeah, well, that's a good thing in some places.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be a good thing if you forgot to turn it down and you're trying to whisper to somebody about something.
Or you try to say, "Hey, I really need this," blah, 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 blah. It just broadcasts it.
Mm-hmm.
But essentially, this also comes with an LED that's broken into the sides of it so that when you talk, the LED will light up with different colors. So not only am I
it's got ground effects.
Yeah, so not only do I have a booming device, but it also has LED effects that will come.
That's awesome.
All right. The Zephyr Pro has not quite been released, but they say they'll give 100 days worth of filters for it. They expect the cost to be anywhere between $150 to $200 for the starter pack. There you go. Number 3, our best transportation tech. We're going to talk about the Chevy Silverado EV. 2000. It was all about cars for this year at CES. All these electric cars that are available.
Mm-hmm.
But the Chevy Silverado seems to be kind of the leader taking the market. And that's because Ford came out with their model first. And so Chevy just looked at what they had and essentially probably
that's the way everybody does this.
Well, the Silverado joins the Hummer EV and GM's electric truck lineup that will soon be accompanied by the Blazer and Equinox that will arrive with 2 different versions. The RST first version of this limited run is going to be just north of $100,000 for this vehicle. Isn't that what you want to pay for an electrical vehicle truck?
Yeah, I totally do.
$100,000.
That's my goal in life.
Or you can buy 3 at $30,000.
I was going to change the world so I could do that.
That's right. They said that they will come out with a much better availability to have essentially the device that will be coming on out in the WT Fleet Edition that will be around $40,000 itself.
What do you think is the best feature of an electric truck?
The best feature of an electric truck?
Yeah.
I have no idea, because if I had a truck, I would want the dual.
I mean, the best feature about an electric vehicle is the torque.
Yeah.
I mean, the torque is awesome.
Okay.
A Leaf can beat out a Ferrari.
Well, we were talking about this in our pre-show about the Leaf, right? When the Leaf first came on out, it got how many miles per gallon? It got like 60 miles per charge.
Yeah, the ad was like you get 80 miles per charge.
Yeah.
But they neglected to tell everybody that any of the incidentals draws power from the battery.
Correct.
So people would be going out in the cold and using their heaters and then dying in 20 miles
because they couldn't get it to work.
Because it was draining the battery and nobody suggested.
Well, we got an interesting car thing coming on up here at the very end of our What the Heck project.
So if I'm in a Silverado EV and I'm trying to tow something, how far do I get? That's my question.
That's your question? And they did not release any of that information yet.
That's the questions that I have, is that, if
14.4 miles.
I can't see my ranch father out there using an EV Silverado to go around the.
Can't you see Yellowstone? Can't you see the Kevin Costner in Yellowstone out there in an electric vehicle? He's killing people left and right on the Yellowstone.
Yeah,
and then
his battery goes dead because he's been towing his horse trailer with too much EV power.
That's right. All right. Our best home theater product. Now, this is really cool. A remote that never needs charge. It's the Samsung Eco Remote 2022. So at last year's CES, Samsung came out with the Eco Remote that was allowed to use indoor and outdoor light to recharge via a solar panel. Mm-hmm. This year, the company took steps further. The 2022 model brings back the solar panel, but adds the ability to recharge using radio frequency RF signals from your Wi-Fi router. Since you don't need to replace the batteries, this eliminates the need to hunt for your AA's, AAA's, and essentially these would end up in the landfills. Now you're just taking that signal from the RF Wi-Fi router that goes through your body, as everybody's like, oh.
Yeah, I know. There's
now
the creepy,
charging
the pasta
the device, so you never have to worry about it.
Like, hey.
Let's just think. If this is a remote that gets charged, think what else can get charged.
I'm going to get cancer by hanging out next to my Wi-Fi, but at least my remote's going to be working.
That's
fine.
right. That's right. That's right. We got 5G for that. Isn't that what
That's
everybody's
right.
saying? All right. Okay. All right. The next item we have, this is kind of a fun item. It's the TP-Link Archer AXE 200 Omni. Now, this is essentially planned for Q2. The price is unknown, but this is essentially a wireless router. But on the devices on top of this, it has it's got 4 antennas that will continuously move.
Yes.
To get the best
moving
Wi-Fi signal possible. So it's like this device. It looks like a NASA. If you ever see the NASA satellite type stuff that always autonomously moves to get the best signals, this is that in your house now. That's going to continuously move left and right to get the best Wi-Fi signal. Now, I put my Wi-Fi down in a closet.
Yeah,
so my thing's just going to be going all day long.
This is what we used to do with TVs.
Yeah.
Your dad would sit you over there with the rabbit ears and be like, move this, move that, move that.
Yeah, hang on the UHF channel and you had to move it.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
That's all this is. This is taking its little internet children and.
Well, this is Wi-Fi 6E compatible, so there will be all the way up to 11 gigabytes per second data transfer that goes through this router. Now, I am a big TP-Link guy. I use TP-Link, the remote devices, to connect into my home network because I have my office outside and there's no codes, right? And there's no cords that go through that. So I am essentially taking the signal and I have it transferred into my electrical outlet and transferred back and forth so I can get 20 megs outside. So they make some good products, and I'm interested to learn about this.
Yeah, we'll see how that works out.
All right, so we talked about TV tech. The Samsung QD display is probably our best display to look at. Essentially, it's the OLED Super display. I'm not going to get more into the television stuff because it's just a TV, but essentially the best TV tech was the Samsung QD display, which uses OLED and some of the QLED sets to have information that's available to get the best viewing products. I'm kind of a cheapo TV guy. I buy a cheapo TV. I don't buy these high-end cheapos.
A lot of things.
I'm a cheapo food guy too, and TV guy. So
cheapo whiskey is one.
Oh, no. Okay, here we go. Our best gaming product. We have our Sony PlayStation VR2. This is essentially interesting because the PlayStation had an original headset. This is their new version that's coming on out.
Okay.
It has a display of 2000 by 2040 for each eye, 110 degree field, 4K HDR capabilities, and frame rates of 90 hertz and 120 hertz to see. Essentially what that means in geek speak is this is the best VR headset that is available on the market. So Sony PlayStation 2 always does a great job of marketing their games with this device. This is going to be the killer.
Can I go to Metaverse Church on this?
You probably could. And you probably see
the banana next to me is going to look better than
he has. Those lines,
else?
Those 3D lines, those will be much more clearer and crisper. And when he moves, it won't be blurry on your screen.
Fuzzy.
That's right.
There
okay. The best crazy idea, here it is the BMW iX Flow featuring e-ink. Now, let me talk about this.
This is awesome.
This is BMW's iX Flow features ink, which is known as essentially the ink that you would see in a handheld device for the ink that you would have. So if you have an e-reader and you have the ink inside of it, you normally have a white screen and the ink comes in, and it's very easy to read. The idea of this is essentially the iX Flow is going to be on the outside of the car, and this will be the ability for you to change the color of your car any day you want. So if I wanted my car to be blue one day, it's blue. I want it to be red the next day, it's red. If I want it to be gold,
so instead of a mood ring, you have a mood BMW.
That is a mood BMW. Now, that it's not quite road ready yet. The iX from BMW is, so the actual model itself, but the skin on it is still kind of a concept idea. And they're curious if it's going to take off. Well, it's going to absolutely take off. If I could change my car color, I'd be all over that.
But think about that for a minute. I'm driving down the road and I'm behind one of those big dump trucks and all these rocks come flying out. Yep. What happens to those little places that it hits my little iX skin here?
So that's, I don't know. So you're going to have little black dots. You know those little pixels you have in your screen when your pixels go out on your screen? Yeah. Those little burn it. I guess that's going to happen.
So I'm going to eventually be driving a BMW that looks like a bad video game.
That's right. That's right. All right. Our last item, the best of the best, the Lenovo ThinkPad Z series. Now, we're all about saving the environment. This essentially comes with 90% recyclable material. Even the package is 100% recyclable, thanks to combustible bamboo and sugarcane. Essentially, when they ship this product, you can essentially put it in the landfill, and you know that it won't cause any issues to you.
It would be compostable, not combustible.
Did I say?
Well, I guess it would be combustible,
It's combustible.
You could burn it.
That's right. I got you right. Okay. Now it comes with the Z13 and the Z16 as a result of collaboration with AMD. Each of these series provides the Ryzen Pro 6000 series laptop processor, and it comes with the 4K screen or OLED with Dolby Vision, along with Dolby Atmos and Dolby AI noise cancellation. All right, well, that ends our segment, Technology Insider, the best of the best from CES. When we return, we have This Week in Technology as we talk a story about the very first computer virus ever written.
Your business deserves the same expertise as that of a Fortune 500 company. If you need a CIO-level service, why hire a full-time staff member at $250,000 a year when you can get this on-demand service for fractions of the cost? As your CIO on demand will give you the steps you need to take so as to minimize interruption to your business and profitability, and provide you and your business with training and education to prevent future attacks. To get an efficiency review for your business today, contact us at www.ee-services.com.
And now, let's look back at this week in technology.
All right, we have January 30th, 1982. Richard Skrenta writes the first PC virus code, which is 400 lines long and distinguished as the Apple II boot program called Elk Cloner.
Disguised.
Essentially, he had a reputation for pranks among his friends, and in sharing computer games and software, he often altered the floppy disks to shut down or display taunting on-screen messages. Due to this reputation, many of his friends simply stopped accepting floppy disks from him. But the Elk Cloner spread by infecting the Apple DOS 3.3 operating system using a technique known as a boot sector virus. It attached to a game that was set to play, and then at the 50th time the game started, the virus was released. But instead of playing the game, it would change to a blank screen that displayed a poem about the virus. If the computer booted from an infected floppy disk, a copy of the virus was then placed into the computer's memory, and it would then infect uninfected disks. So essentially, it would continue to prosper. The actual Elk Cloner would display Elk Cloner, the program with a personality. It will get on all your disks. It will infiltrate your chips. Yes, it's Cloner. It will stick to you like glue. It will modify RAM to send in the cloner. Elk Cloner did not cause deliberate harm, but Apple DOS disks without a standard image had the reserved tracks overwritten. So that is the very first virus played as a prank to individuals.
Yeah, now look at what we got.
Now we got everything from major takeovers by Revil and other items that are available. But that was the very first computer virus noted to date.
Although a computer virus that gave me a cute little poem.
That That would have been much better, wouldn't it? You would have been so much excited. Well, that is it for our This Week in Technology. We're always looking for something in technology history. If you want to learn more, you can always go and learn about our TechTime Radio history of our 2-year-old show by visiting techtimeradio.com. Up next, we have Stories You Didn't Know. We'll see you after the break.
Hello, my name is Arthur, and my life's work is connecting people with coffee. StoriCoffee is a small batch specialty coffee company that uses technology to connect people to each product resource, which allows farmers to unlock their economic freedom. Try our Medium Roast Founder Series coffee, which is an exotic bourbon variety that is smooth, fresh, and elegant at StoriCoffee.com. That's STORI coffee.com. Today you can get your first bag free when you subscribe at StoriCoffee.com with code TechTime. That's STORI coffee.com.
Hey, Mike.
Yeah, what's going on?
Hey, do you ever feel tired, have a headache, or maybe a little bit under dehydrated?
Yeah, I get told that I need to hydrate more often.
Guess what, Mike? I have a solution for you.
What is it?
Hydronique Hydration. The electrolyte power drink packets are available for you now. Started in the midst of the pandemic, the founder of Hydronique Hydration, a frontline healthcare worker, started developing constant headaches. Do you know that most powdered drinks on the market have tons of sugar and caffeine, especially those Rockstar and Gatorade substitutes?
Yeah, like you drink.
So I'm going to need to change.
So what did the founder do?
Well, that's why he created Hydronique Hydration, sugar-free, keto-friendly, plant-based, antioxidant-rich, electrolyte powdered packets for daily use, containing all the essential vitamins and minerals with a refreshing taste. Their product contains elderberry, which has immune-boosting properties for supporting during cold and flu season. Hydronique Hydration electrolyte powder packets can also fit in your bag or suitcase when traveling. Your busy days in 2022 can change. Do you want a sugar-free, keto-friendly vitamin drink that give you hydration boosts? If so, give Hydronique Hydration a try. You can visit the website at www.hydroniquehydration. It's www.hydronique hydration.com. That's the word hydration and unique mashed together. Or you can search for Hydronique Hydration on Amazon.com or on their own website at hydroniquehydration.com.
All right. Welcome back to Tech Time with Nathan Mumm, your host of the Technology Expert Show. I'm Nathan Mumm. We have our human solution consultant, or my lie to me expert here, Mike Gourdet. How was that whiskey during the break? That's a Earl Settler bourbon. Yeah, let me just tell you a little bit behind the scenes here. It's a Total Wine house brand.
Yeah.
Their ad recommends making cocktails with this bourbon. So that means it's not able to hold its own. This is all from Mr. Mark Gregoire.
Yeah.
All right. Not much more needs to be said about this whiskey crap because it's the dump of cheap alcohol at Total Wine. Nobody writes about it or does a review because it's junk. But the best thing is that people here buy this stuff. There'll be more for him to purchase that is good whiskey. Remember he said that?
Yes. And I am going to agree with him at this point.
He says, this is not a good whiskey. Move on.
It is not a good whiskey.
All right. Well, I don't know about it.
I think I would use this scrub car part.
Oh, my word. No, I don't think it's that bad. All right. Well, we'll see what happens, and maybe it'll taste a little bit better as the show goes on.
It's tasting worse as the show goes on. I don't understand where they get the flavors from. That's obviously somebody who, well,
it's got
have complex taste buds.
Okay, all right. Well, we're going to move on to our next segment.
Okay.
All right. This segment, I'm sure, is going to make you go, Let's start our next segment now.
Stories you didn't know.
Tell me a story I didn't know.
Okay, on Stories You Didn't Know, we try to talk about technology stories weeks ahead of the mainstream media or stories that are bizarre but not going to be talked about from our staff. We talk about some crazy stuff as we prepare for the show. We, of course, have our production meetings on Monday nights, so we get ready for the show. Story number 1, how streaming service has resulted in the over-anxiety that has left us all wanting to watch too much television.
Really?
Yes. The stunning growth of video streaming services like Netflix, Amazon Prime Video, Disney Plus, and then you got Paramount Plus and other TV shows.
Other Plus and Plus and
then you still got
Plus
YouTube videos and you got Twitch videos. All this is available. Do you understand that Netflix now has 22 million subscribers You have 18.2 million subscribers in 2020, and they've moved all the way up to 222 million subscribers.
That's just 18 million more
since 2020.
Since 2020.
Amazon Prime Video has 175 million viewers, and Disney's Plus base topped out at 118 million.
Yeah, well, of course.
So
this is a huge movement to gain the attention and entertainment value that we lost due to COVID, right? So I can't go to the movie, so now I need stuff. So I'm scrolling through Amazon Prime. I'm looking for a movie.
Yep.
And I'm seeing all these really stupid mishmash movies like Cowboys and Dinosaurs. And I'm like, are you serious?
Yeah.
We have gotten to this point of ridiculousness with the amount of people putting out this kind of crud just so we have something to entertain ourselves while we're hanging out at home in our bathrobes and doing Zoom meetings half naked.
Yep. Yeah. You know what? It is so bad. I have so many shows I want to watch now. I actually get anxiety because I can't get through them all. I mean, I was trying to finish Ozark season 4. I got the TNT show.
Yeah, well, we've got a few things going on here, human behavior wise. One is the inability to choose.
Yep.
Right.
And everything seems to be the same.
Yeah. When we're offered more than about 3 to 5 choices, we start to get anxious and we start to shut down. We can't choose. So you go to the Red Box or anything like that.
Yep.
And immediately when you see all those choices, your brain starts going, what the hell's going on here?
Yep.
Right. And so the glut of all these other movies too is creating that pressure.
That makes sense. All right. Well, let's move on to story number 2. A sea shanty for IT workers.
This is fun.
This is funny. All right. So how about some IT music? We got Scott Simon, the host of Weekend Edition Saturday, and Up First has come up with a few sea shanties over the past week for IT workers. Now, I'm a big fan of Sea of Thieves, right? Me and you play this together.
That's right.
Now, we after our production meetings, we get off, and then we end up playing 4 to 6 hours online until 1 o'clock and 2 o'clock in the morning sometimes.
Yes.
And then last night was a pretty good night. We got a lot of bounty, a lot of
That's
treasures. Right. We killed a couple ships out there.
We didn't get sunk.
We didn't get sunk. All right. So this is a little shanty for everybody to listen to for the IT support person out there regarding authentication. Let's go.
Or a shanty about how IT workers have to sail into the stiff winds of something like an extensible authentication protocol.
How do you handle authentication protocol? Extensible authentication protocol. How do you handle authentication protocol? Early in the morning. Kick this to our level 3 technician. Kick this to our level 3 technician. We'll kick this to our level 3 technician after you fill out the ticket.
After you fill out the ticket. That's right. That's the biggest thing for IT workers. There's 2 things we don't like doing. One, submitting tickets. And the other thing, talking in large social gatherings. Those are the 2 things that will kill an IT worker.
I think that's awesome.
Right.
It's interesting that it took this long to get to that.
Are you going to put that on your playlist so you can listen to that now?
I like shanties. I used to sing them all the time when I was younger.
Okay, so there you go. That's the new IT
What do you do with
one.
a drunken sailor?
That's right. All right, well, that ends our segment. When we come on back, we have Mike's Mesmerizing Moment brought to us by StoriCoffee and Pick of the Day. We'll see you after the break. From all of us at TechTime Radio, we enjoy having you listen to these commercials during the break.
How to See a Man About a Dog. It combines darkly comic short stories, powerful poems, and pulp fiction prose to create a heartbreaking and hilarious journey readers will not soon forget. Read How to See a Man About a Dog, Collected Writings, for free with Kindle Unlimited. Ebook available on Kindle, print copies available on Amazon, the Bookpository, and more.
This is Mike's Mesmerizing Moment, presented by StoriCoffee. Visit StoriCoffee.com.
Good coffee, yummy coffee.
All right. Now, lie detecting systems. We had this big article that we saw last night in the production deal that you did some research about. Explain to me about everybody creates these lie detection systems that they say are getting better.
Specifically about this lie detection system that they're talking about in Israel.
That's correct. Yes,
where they're monitoring eyebrow movements and things like that.
They put little diodes on your face.
Yeah, and we talked about the polygraph. So The problem with these systems, and I think it's more of a, as humans, we're designed to look for simple things. The funny thing is that we're too complex for these simple things. So the polygraph is supposed to be this bastion of lie detection, this huge thing, but it's really not. Because of false positives.
Okay.
The problem is that what it's detecting is not lies; it's detecting emotional responses. So if I said, "Hey, have you ever committed a crime?" and I'm thinking it, say I'm a police detective, and I've picked you up for something like murder, and I say, "Have you ever committed a crime?" and you shoplifted once, you might get a response to that, but you say no. But my thing's going to say, "Oh, you're lying." Now, as a person, I'm going to be taking that, "Oh, this guy's connected to this crime." The problem with these things is I think that the questions we're asking is the wrong questions. Because how do you define a lie? You define, "Hey, I'm having a really bad day, but when anybody asks me, I'm going to say, I'm doing great." That's technically a lie, right?
Yeah.
But is it the kind of lie that is the problem?
Okay. Well, do you think they're ever going to have a software program that's going to be able to detect lies? Because you're very skeptical of this.
Yeah, I'm very skeptical. This one about the Israel technology, they're basically saying that movements in the eyebrows is significant to lie detection, but there's enough research out there that says lie detection is not specific to a person. So one person does not have the same lie tell that the next person does. We look for cluster behaviors.
Okay, that makes sense.
Right?
That makes sense.
But they're working in the face, which is one of the areas that you do want to work in. So who knows?
Okay.
Who knows?
All right. Well, I think the next thing we need to go to is our pick of the day. All right.
And now our pick of the day for our whiskey tastings.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see what bubbles to the top.
All right. We got our Earl Settler Bourbon. This is Kentucky's intense spice and cloves, which gives you the medium-bodied bourbon with notes of oak, brown sugar, caramel, and a complex finish.
Yeah, I'm going to...
Carefully aging these bourbons with a smooth, rich taste profile.
Yeah, I'm going to unpick this one.
You're going to unpick this? So you're going to actually give that a thumbs down?
This is bad.
Oh, you do not like it?
No.
Wow.
It's not as bad as Canadian Mist.
Canadian Mist?
Canadian Mist, but this is bad stuff.
All right. You know what? I don't like it really either.
I didn't even finish it.
As much as I'm trying to pretend like I really like it, that is not the case.
It's gross.
It was bad. So it's going to give it 2 thumbs down. All right. That's going to take us pretty much to the end of our show. You can always go out and visit information at techtimeradio.com. You can get information between Mike Gorday, myself, our past episodes, upcoming information, and of course, you can always sign up for our newsletter. Mr. Gorday and I will be doing a monthly newsletter that you'll receive with some great technical tips and some psychology information. Now, as we do that, I always have a quote that I like to end my shows with, and that is, "The science of tomorrow starts with the technology of the day."
Well, you really worked hard on that one.
I did.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll see you guys next week. Hopefully you enjoy a little whiskey on the side.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for joining us on TechTime Radio. We hope that you had a chance to have that moment today in technology. The fun doesn't stop there. We recommend that you go to techtimeradio.com and join our fan list for the most important aspect of staying connected and winning some really great monthly prizes. We also have a few other ways to stay connected, including subscribing to our podcast on any podcast service, from Apple to Google and everything in between. We're also on YouTube, so check us out on youtube.com/TechTimeRadio, all one word. We hope you enjoyed the show as much as we did making it for you. From all of us at TechTime Radio, remember, Mumm's the word. Have a safe and fantastic week.